Alright, so here we are. I'm going to show you how to make some CAD programs for laser cutter on a CNC. It's fairly easy. Takes a little time learning how to use Corel Draw, but I'll show you the tricks that I've come across by talking to Plasticare. They helped me out on some of it, and it's fairly simple. I've got all these programs here. You can see that one. That's one of my former ribs that I traced off of the prints. So we'll go ahead and open up the print file. So there you can see my ribs for the wings. We're going to go ahead and start with one of those. I'll move it over here so you can see it. We're going to trace this out, and the reason is we got to trace it out because as I zoom in you can see all these little bumps. That laser's going to cut all jagged like that, so you know, then you'd have to sand, and it kind of defeats the purpose of having it laser cut. So what we'll do is we'll come over here and show you this too. I got my formers. You can see that one right there. It's only the one side, so I only trace one side, then I copy it and flip it, and then you got the same thing on both sides. And so we'll zoom this out, start with the wing rib, and move it over here, and then we'll rotate it so that we're looking at it right side. And now we'll zoom back in and rotate it a little more. Right about there. Oh, we'll rotate it again. Get it fairly square, it doesn't really matter. So we'll zoom in onto this rib. Now we're going to go up to some of these drawing tools. And we're going to start with the 3-point curve. I'll show you what that does here. You can see my marker. You click and hold the click, and you bring it over, and you see it's drawing that line. When I let off the click, now I can make a 3-point curve any shape I want. So I'm going to use that to get my shape of the airfoil. So we'll undo that line, undo, create 3-point curve. Now I'm going to zoom in here on this right there so you can see my little cursor, I think, yep. And so we want it right about there, and before I click I'm going to zoom back out so that I can see the whole rib. And click and hold. Now I'm just going to do a rough one. I've already made this rib, so I'm just going to do this rough so you guys get an idea how to do it. You bring it right over to the end, and now I got that curve, see? And I'm going to put it right there. There it is, right on the line. And now I got that line there. So I'll come down here and do another 3-point curve on the bottom, because there's a slight curve right there you can see. So I'll start that, click it there, draw my line, bring it over to here, and then get it so it looks fairly good. Click. So now that I got that, we'll come over here to the freehand tool, and you want to start on the node, connect the dots, and the node means it's the end of the line. So you click, bring that down, let off. Oh, that's pretty crooked because you're supposed to click and let off, so undo edit, and we'll do that again. You click and let go on this one. If you click and let go, you can bring that line wherever you want it. If you click and hold it, it draws whatever line that mouse makes. So connect that line to the node, zoom back out, come over here, and now we're going to do the bottom of the wing. Click and hold. You can see I'm dragging it over here, and I'm going to put it right on that node. And right there. Zoom in on it. So, looks like it's connected. If it's not, we'll fix that up. Now we're going to do this little notch out right here. And come over here. Rectangle tool. We got rectangle, circle, pentagon. get all kinds of different tools over there. So I'm going to use a rectangle. You can see it draws you a nice rectangle. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you a trick here. Let's say I want that rectangle to be whatever size I want. You go up to the top of the screen and you select it, and I'm going to make it 0.5 inches by 0.25 inches, and it'll make that rectangle that size. Now when I hit enter, boom, it just resized it for me. Now that it's selected, I'm going to hit copy, and then I'll come over to edit and hit paste. Now there's two of them there. I'll zoom in on it. Now you can see just the rectangle. Go over to my selector tool. There, see, I got two of them. So you can do that and you don't have to sit there and draw the parts over and over. So now that I have that, I'm going to grab one of them. I know it's not the size of this notch over here, but I'm just trying to show you guys how I'm doing this. I'll put that one on the notch right there. And then this one, I'm going to rotate it. We'll zoom in here so you can see it better. Get it centered in the screen. As you click, you get an option to skew it so I can resize it, or you click again and then it gives you the option to rotate. So I'm going to rotate it. And there it is, lines are square. Zoom back out and click on again so that it gives me the move it option. Then I'm going to go ahead and move it back here. Alright, so that's that. I've pretty much traced that that rib out. So now I can select my scan and move the scan out of the way. And there's my rib. So we're going to do a couple quick things. Here we got the rib. And what we're going to do here, and I'll show you, see how that line is? That line is smooth. And zoom line right on it. It's a smooth line, so that laser is not cutting jagged edges. So the next step is you want to come over and make sure all these lines intersect before you combine them. So I'm going to pull this down, and the lines are intersecting, and that's just going to help us when we go to edit it as we combine this object. Oh, you can see I forgot a line. So come over here, see if you guys can see it. Yeah, the nodes are just too small, you can't see it on the screen. So click, now bring it down. That's my triangle, or my rectangle, and connect it to that node. Now you got it there. So now we'll zoom back out and move this box. Oops. Get rid of that line, undo, edit, and hit the selector tool. And now we're going to move this over. This is a quick drawing. It takes a little more time to do it than this because you got to get everything square. You know, you can see that this isn't square here, but that's because I just doing a real rough sketch of it, just to show you guys how it works out. Now that I got all that in there like so, and let's say those are all the size I want them and where I want them, I've got a measuring tool in there so you can measure everything. We're going to come up here and select the whole item. Now it's selected as one, and you come up to arrange and combine. Now it just combined all those lines as one unit. Now we want to take and we want that laser to come up in here and cut that notch out. We don't want this line. So you come over to your crop tool flyer, virtual segment delete, and zoom in on that. And we're going to cut that line out. And then right there is where we want it. See that? Cut that out for us. And then you cut this one out. Oh, sorry, let's do it there. So when you come across that, you come over here, hit your selector tool. And now you can see some lines